What's up, everybody? We are back with another live edition of the Ad Podcast, and today we have Sean McCaffrey, the CEO of GSTV. We're hanging out at the Media Link Beach over on the main Palais. It's day 4 of Cannes, starting to wind up. Sean, how's your week been?
It's been good. Hot and busy, but productive. Yeah, it's been good.
All right. So we have a large media buying and advertising audience, but some people might not know what GSTV is.
Sure.
Just give a little intro on yourself and what you guys do.
Sure. Yeah. GSTV is a digital video network across 208 of the 210 U.S. markets, and we partner with the fuel and convenience industry. So as a media platform, it's got the scale of household name broadcast networks. From a digital sort of addressability standpoint, it's literally and figuratively on the consumer journey. And so we partner with retailers of all shapes and sizes across the country, and then brands and agencies to find consumers right place, right time, right moment. And then a lot of publishers and creators to bring content to that same audience as well. Since we program a show every day, it's about 5 minutes long to entertain, engage, inform, that sort of thing.
I love it. So, just to drill down specifically, these are the screens in the pumps of the gas stations around America.
Exactly.
When you pull the gas pump out of the handle and then the TV pops on and you see iJustine or one of your favorite podcast hosts or YouTubers pop up, and then you get some messaging about potential items you can get inside the store. That's the specific delivery methodology.
That's us, correct, exactly.
Awesome. So yeah, you talked a little bit about the content perspective. You know, I've always been curious. I've been in the creator entertainment space for a long time, and you know, the trend is generally all small screen creators want to be on bigger screens.
Sure.
Whether that's billboards, TV shows. You know, we've got Alex Zerlagger promoting her new documentary on Hulu.
Sure.
Seems like that's always kind of where they're headed. I was curious that if those kind of more content-driven segments that you see in GSTV. I was always curious if that was something that the creators paid for to expose their brand to new audiences that they normally wouldn't get reached to, or is that more of a syndication content partnership with you guys? Can you tell me a little bit more about the process and how you work with creators?
Sure.
Or content licensees for that matter?
Sure. It's a great question. I would say it's all the above and more. So I think as you think about the evolution of content, it's been historically you own the distribution or you own the content production. You might not be both, but you were a gatekeeper to some degree to the consumer audience. Today, you mentioned particular creators as an example. They're entertainment enterprises and media platforms and distributors and creators all in one. So for us, we want to make sure we're programming a daily experience that's interesting and entertaining to our audience based on things contextually that make sense. So music content, for example, in our space makes a lot of sense. Music and driving are very symbiotic.
Be like a music video.
Exactly.
By a production company that wants to get their break their artist and tune in for television and movies. I see a lot of movie trailers. Tune in messaging for television, which is like great because it's like reminders same day, like, oh yeah, that movie's playing soon, in a place that you normally wouldn't, be thinking about that.
It's a great example. It's one use case. Another one might be a brand that has a big bet around summer music, and they want to use that IP that they're using in CTV and online video and in social platforms in our space where contextually it makes sense. They're also trying to sell a product maybe in the store nearby or store down the road, and they can also give the consumer some value, a discount code for Apple Music, a discount code for Spotify, a summer driving playlist, whatever it might be. So oftentimes I think we stretch reality when we try to say things are a win-win or a win-win-win. But in our case, it can genuinely be a win for the creator or the producer. It can be a win for the brand, and it certainly can be a win for our retail partners as well. So it's a really interesting space. I often I'll stick with music for a second. I'm old enough to remember when you were waiting for your favorite song to come on the radio so you could record it to a tape or a CD. And then we saw music discovery happen in Apple TV commercials with the Apple silhouette ads, and you heard a new band that way. And today music discovery is on TikTok, it's on streaming platforms, etc.
Anywhere you hear it, you could open up Shazam or something else. So we reach 115 million monthly unique viewers, which is 40% of US adults. So music is just one area where contextually if you're selling an artist, if you're selling soda or anything in between where music IP makes sense, we could partner.
And for our retailers, it helps create a consumer experience for them where it's a better experience for the consumer as they visit that retailer.
Nice. I love that. So wanted to ask you, you mentioned being able to draw offers and drive people into the most logical point of transaction, which is 10 feet away inside of the store. Seems like a very strategic location, like you said, that's on the buyer's journey. But I recently saw one of your execs at NX Media Days in Los Angeles give a talk about outdoor retail media networks. And she talked a bit about how you're basically interrupting the consumer journey, not just when they're going between the pump and the store, but when they're out and about running their errands for the day. Most people, if they stop at a gas station, they might stop at several retail locations. They might pick up their kids, they might go to a movie theater, they might go to the grocery store. Can you talk about some of the other points of transaction that you guys help drive and how you guys also help prove that you're driving that ROI?
Sure. The basic consumer insight is fuel day is shopping day. To your point, you don't get up off the couch, fuel up, and go home. It might be a stop on your commute to your office or your kid's school or somewhere else. More typically, it's one of a number of stops to shop. And so we've studied this with several partners, most recently with Affinity Solutions, which is credit card data, loyalty card data, et cetera. So the basic consumer insight is fuel day, shopping day, and people spend in the 0 to 3 hours after fueling, they'll spend 5 times more at Walmart, 6 times more at Kroger, 5 times more at CVS, the list goes on.
Yeah.
And so there's high correlation there, but to your point, then how do we prove causality, right? How do you prove efficacy? So we've commercialized relationships with a lot of the best in class partners that are at this event right now. So iSpot, Samba, Circana, Foursquare, MasterCard, you name it. So depending on the advertiser category where KPIs might be very different, automotive versus CPG, for example, we can simply say yes to campaign measurement in the same way they're used to measuring with those partners already. So the idea being that a consumer may have an immediate, let's use CPG for a second. A consumer may have an immediate...
QSR is the one I forgot that's probably super important too. People oftentimes will eat while they're out and about.
For sure. Besides the C-store, the 3 biggest consumer journeys after you fuel up are grocery, big box, and QSR.
Makes sense.
It's not an exaggeration to say we have a very hungry audience, right? But for CPG, the individual consumption occasion where I just want to run inside and grab a beverage or a snack is different than the stock-up trip, right? I need to stock the pantry, or I'm going to a barbecue or a baseball game. So those are very complementary relationships. So no media impression, I think, can take all credit for the sale.
Yeah.
Even the lowest funnel, buy it now button. But if we're delivering a message to a consumer at a point where they're already out of their home, they're already thinking about stocking up the pantry, or they're thirsty right now, we can direct them 10 feet away inside the store, or we can remind them before they're about to walk into that physical retail store where, let's face it, most of the commerce still takes place. And it's a point of opportunity to entertain, engage, inform a consumer where you're not adding tension or friction to their life. So you're not asking them to download something or opt into something, etc.
There anyways for 3 minutes, 4 minutes while the tank fills up.
Yeah.
And and there is a value exchange because, some cool music, like maybe a quick sports update, maybe a funny video of a guy getting kicked in the nuts on a skateboard, and it's like,
we keep it PG. We keep it PG.
I was just thinking of the Chive style, viral video content that I see from time to time.
But to your point, value exchange is the right word, where it is a addressable network at a geo level, at a station level, and behavioral data and so on. But we don't want to assume the consumer is just there. So we think about programming in that way, and we really encourage our brand partners to consider the moment and consider the context. We can run a 15-second ad you're using everywhere else, but if you're a CPG brand where they can go inside and buy it now, or you're a beverage brand but has a big bet on summer music and you're giving away promotional IP in other places like Play This, whatever, you should use it in our environment. So we have an in-house content studio that does create some original programming, but does a lot of advisory work with brands. And this is really true of most brands today. It's not the 6 30-second ads a year. We had a partner last year, a financial services brand, who did a Super Bowl ad. They're one of those companies that can afford that level of creative, but they talked about when they were shooting the ad, they had planned on 60 different places and spaces that content would be used. Vertical, horizontal, video with sound, video without sound, et cetera, et cetera.
Client the other day that said they're up to 660 versioning.
So just the better the creative can be thought of contextually, obviously in any environment, the better it is for us as consumers.
Yeah, I love that. All right, so last question. As there's a continued push towards renewables and electric cars, but it's still a very small fraction of the market. How do you think about moating the business?
Yeah, we believe it's a big opportunity for us and our partners. We work with huge parts of the U.S. economy who are driving this change. The fuel and convenience retailers themselves, the major oil companies, the automobile manufacturers, and everyone is focused on the transition over whatever time horizon from petrol to volts.
Yep.
There'll still be a need for convenience retail. It's literally in the name.
Yep.
And so a bunch of our retail partners are doing interesting things. We announced a partnership a couple of years ago with ChargePoint, who's the largest infrastructure provider. And so it's one of those areas where, despite the size of our ambition or our checkbook, it's going to move at an infrastructure pace, federally, at a state level, and locally. But we're excited about it. It's a one-to-some conversation. It's not a one-to-one conversation. It's not just about the person charging their vehicle. It's about the people coming to that retail environment and so on. But we think it's a big opportunity. There's lots of examples of ad-supported models helping deploy infrastructure, from TV and radio antennas way back when to now. So we're excited about it, but we're realistic, I think, at what the pace it's going to drive. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
For sure.
Appreciate you spending some time, and enjoy the rest of camp.
Likewise. Take care. Thank you.